If you have ever had a business idea sitting in your head, or maybe you have already got a side hustle going and you're not sure what to do next, this video is for you. The good news is you don't need $100,000 in the bank. Neither do you need to wait a whole year before you start. All you need is a simple strategy. Today, I am going to walk you through 4 practical steps to go from I have an idea to I have a business. And to make it easy to follow, I'm going to walk you through these steps using one example. A woman named Maria who bakes out her home kitchen and wants to turn it into a real paying business. Now we'll check in on Maria every step of the way so you can see exactly what this looks like in real life, not just in theory. The whole idea here is simple. Start small, grow big. You don't need to leap straight to renting a store, borrowing a big loan, or a big grand opening. You take 4 small, doable steps and you build from there. I want you to stick with me to the end because step 4 is the one that actually gets you moving. Most people never get that far. And that's exactly why most ideas just stay as ideas. So let's get started. Here is the roadmap for the whole video. There are 4 steps. Know your customer, step number 1. This is where you find out exactly who you are serving. Step number 2, estimate your cost. List out what is actually going to cost you. Step number 4 is test your idea. Try it small before you go all in. And step number 4, build a 30-day action plan. Map out your month week by week. That's it. 4 steps, no fluff, no 20-page business plan, no degree needed. If you're a tradesperson, whether a plumber, an electrician, a landscaper, or you run a small shop, this works exactly the same way for you as it does for Mario. The trade, the skill will change, but the steps will not change. Let's break down each of these one by one. Step 1. And honestly, this is the one that people skip the most. Know your customer. The truth is, not everyone is your customer. I know it sounds obvious, but most people never actually sit down and think it through. They just assume everybody who eats cake is my customer. Or for a plumber, everybody with a leaky pipe is my customer. That sounds nice, but it's actually a trap. Because when you try to sell to everybody, your message and your offer ends up so generic that it doesn't really speak to anybody specifically. Let's go to Maria. Maria loves baking. So technically, anyone who eats dessert could buy her cakes. But she loves to make character cakes, not fruit cakes, not wedding cakes. Maria gets specific. Also, she notices that most of her orders so far comes from busy moms who don't have the time to bake for their kids' birthday party, or from people who can't bake but still want something that looks homemade and special. That's her customer. Not everyone who likes cake. She targets busy parents and family members who wants a beautiful, stress-free birthday character cake without doing it themselves. And here's the bigger point. It's not your ideas that defines your business. It is your customer that defines your business. Your customer's problem is the reason that your business exists. So you start with them, not what you personally want to sell. Maria didn't start with, I want to sell cakes. She started with busy parents who have a problem. They have no time to bake, or they simply do not know how to bake, but they still want a great cake. The cake is just how she sells it. Why does knowing your customer matter to your wallet? Because most businesses fail not because the owner didn't work hard enough. They fail because they built a product or they are offering something, a service that nobody actually wanted. Knowing your customer upfront protects your money before you even spend a dime on ingredients, on tools, or on a website. So let's make this real for you. I want you to grab a pen and also pause the video and answer these 3 quick questions about your own business idea. Question number 1. Who are your target customers? Now, depending on the type of business or your skill, I want you to think about their age. Is it adults or children that you will be serving? Where do they live? Will you be serving in the parish or will you be serving island-wide? How do your customer live? Are they of the lower class, middle class, or the upper class? For Maria, it's parents in their late 20s to 40s, living in her local area, juggling full-time jobs and kids' schedule. Now, if you are a landscaper, maybe your ideal customer is a homeowner in their 40s or 50s with a busy career and yard that they don't have time to maintain. It would not be a retired neighbor who enjoys keeping his yard tidy as a hobby. So, who is your target customers? Question number 2 I want you to answer is, what's the problem? What problem are you actually solving for your customers? What situation gets better in their life once they hire you or buy from you? For Maria, the problem isn't they need a cake. The real problem is they're short on time and don't want to feel like a bad parent for buying a plain store cake. Her cake solves an emotional problem, not just a hunger problem. So, what is the problem or you are solving for your customer? Question number 3. Where do you reach them? Where can you actually find these people? Is it online, in your community, at your church? Is it through word of mouth, on the job site? Is it on social media? Where exactly do your customers exist? For Maria, Maria realized that her best customers came from her local parenting Facebook group and the WhatsApp group, and also word of mouth at her kids' school. She is not getting her customers from a fancy website. That told her exactly where to spend her time and energy. Once you can answer these 3 things clearly, you know exactly who you're building for. Don't move on to step 2 until you can answer all 3 of these questions in 1 or 2 sentences each. Step 2. Estimate your cost. Here's why this matters. A lot of businesses don't fail because the idea was bad. They fail because the owner ran out of money, not because customers didn't want what they were selling, but because the bills piled up faster than expected. A simple cost list protects you from that. The key word here is everything. List every cost, even the small things that feel too minor to write down. Let's go back to Maria. When she first thought about her cost, she thought flour, sugar, eggs, butter, and the images for the characters. That's it. But once she actually sat down and thought it through, the list got a lot longer. She thought about cake boxes, packaging, delivery gas, a scale for consistent portion, a simple Instagram page, food handler's permit, maybe a business license depending on her country or her state. And don't forget this, the extra cooking gas or electricity from running her oven more. None of these individually are huge, but add them all up, and suddenly her cheap hobby has a real cost behind it. This is true no matter what trade or business you are in. Mobile mechanic doesn't just need tools and parts. There's gas to drive to each job, marketing to get found in the first place, and maybe a permit or a license fee. These small costs add up fast, and if you don't write them down, they sneak up on you and quietly eat away your profit. And here's the relief part. You do not need a lot of money to start. What you need is a realistic plan that fits your life and where your budget is right now. Not a business you'll have in 5 years, the one you can actually start this month with what you have got. To help you do this, here's a simple worksheet. You can pause here and fill it out with your own numbers. You have your business registration cost, marketing or your advertising cost, inventory or your supplies cost, equipment or tools, license or permit, and any other cost that you will incur. For Maria, her list looks something like the fee to register her home based business. She may pay someone to set up a basic Instagram and Facebook page for her baking supplies and packaging to start, and a food handler's permit. Add those up, and now she has her total estimated cost. A real number, not a guess number. That's the whole point of this worksheet. No guessing, no surprises halfway through. Just a clear number so you can actually work with and plan around. Step 3, ladies and gentlemen, is to test your idea before you go all in. Test before you invest. Try a small version of your idea first. It costs less and it teaches you a lot. Don't go ahead, spend big money before you have tested small. This is where a lot of business owners get themselves into trouble because they get excited and they jump straight into the biggest version of the idea. Think about Maria again. The tempting move would be to immediately rent a commercial kitchen, or buy a big commercial stove, or to open a store. That could easily cost tens of thousands of dollars before she sold a single cake. But instead, she tests small. What did she do? She bakes few cakes out of her home kitchen and offers them to a handful of neighbors and co-workers at a friendly price. That's her test. It costs her almost nothing, just ingredients and a bit of time along with the other basic items that she needed. But it tells her fast whether people actually want what she's making and whether they are willing to pay for it. Real feedback from real people is priceless. Listen to what your customers has to say, good or bad. Maybe they love the flavor, but say the price is a little high. Maybe they say the cakes looked amazing, but the delivery was slow. That's the fastest way to learn and to fix your plan before you spend a lot of money on something bigger. And here's the mindset shift I want you to walk away with. Testing isn't a sign of weakness or being unsure of yourself. Testing is a sign of wisdom. It helps you dodge big, expensive mistakes. And honestly, it shows you are smart. You are a careful business owner, the kind who builds something that lasts instead of something that burns out in, say, 6 months because the numbers you expected never worked. So, how will you test your idea? Let's make this practical for your own business. And again, I want you to answer 3 questions. So, pause and answer these questions for yourself. The first question is with regards to the method. What small way you can test your idea? Now, depending on your business or skill, can you use a trial run, a free sample, or a simple survey to a few people you trust? For Maria, it was as simple as offering 3 cakes at a discount to 3 different families and asking for honest feedback afterwards. So go ahead and write, how will you test your business idea? Question number 2 deals with the people. Who will you test it with first? Will it be customers? Will it be family, friends, or the local family group that you're in? For Maria, she specifically chose people who weren't afraid to tell her the truth, not just people who would tell her what she wanted to hear. So go ahead and record, who will you be testing your idea with? The third question I would like you to answer is the goal. What are you actually trying to learn about your product or service? Are you trying to learn if they would pay for your product or service? Or are you trying to figure out what is it that you would likely change about your product or service? For Maria, Maria's goal was simple. She wanted to know, would these families actually pay full price next time? And what would make them say yes a little faster? Answer these 3 questions, and you have got yourself a simple test plan. No spreadsheet needed, no business degree needed. Step number 4. This is the final step. It is Build your 30-day action plan. You do not need some giant, complicated 5-year business plan to get started. In fact, most 5-year plans are wrong within the first 6 months, anyways, because the market changes and you would have learned things that you didn't know from the start. So instead, you just need 30 days of focused action. One solid month of consistent work builds real momentum. And momentum is what actually gets a business off the ground, not a perfect plan sitting in a notebook. The trick is to break it down week by week. Big goals will feel overwhelming when you look at the whole mountain all at once. If you say, I want to build a 6-figure bakery business, that would look intimidating and vague. But when you plan a little bit for each week, you always know exactly what to do next. And the whole thing feels doable instead of overwhelming. And remember, progress over perfection. Don't wait until your website is perfect or your logo is perfect, your recipe is perfect before you start. No. The goal is to keep moving, keep learning, and adjust your plan as you go. Maria's first cake weren't her best work, but she got better fast because she was already out there doing it, not sitting at home waiting to feel ready. Here's what that could look like, broken into 4 weeks. Let's walk through it using Maria's plan as the example. Week number 1, research and finalize. For Maria, Maria studies what other local bakers charge. She finalizes her menu to 3 signature cake flavors instead of trying to offer all the flavors. And also, she locks in her pricing. That was week number 1. For week number 2, you set up your essentials. Again, with Maria, she sets up her Instagram page. She prints some business cards. She got her food permit sorted out. These are just the basic tools. Nothing fancy as yet, only the essentials to get started. Week number 3 will see you testing your idea. Here, Maria sells to those 3 test families we talked about earlier, and she was able to collect real feedback on taste, price, and the presentation of the cakes. And in week 4, we fix and then we launch. For Maria, she adjusts her pricing slightly based on the feedback that she got. And she also tweaks her packaging based on feedback. And then she officially opens up to orders from the public. And here she started posting in the Facebook group that she is in and the WhatsApp parenting group. This is where that she knows that her customers are. So this is a full month, but it's broken into simple, doable chunks. No overwhelmed, just 1 week at a time. And by day 30, Maria's would have gone from I bake as a hobby to I have paying customers. That same 4-week structure will work whether you're baking cakes, whether you're fixing cars, cutting hair, or even laying tile. The trade will change, but the plan doesn't. So sit down, pause the video, replay if you like, and plan out your next 4 weeks going forward from your idea to launching your business. Before I wrap up, I want to leave with you this scripture, Habakkuk 2, verse 2. And it says, write the vision, keep plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Here's what that means for you and your business. God is a God of order, and your business needs a plan too. It's not enough to just have the idea in your head. Maria didn't build her baking business by hoping it would work out. She wrote it down. She wrote who her customer was, what it would cost, how she would test it, what she would do each week. I want you to write it down, make it plain, make it clear, so you and anyone helping you can actually run with it. So let's do a quick recap. 4 steps to go from idea to business. Using Maria's journey as your guide, you should know your customer. Maria found her busy parent customer, not just anyone who likes cake. She estimated her cost. She wrote down every real cost, even the small ones. She tested her small idea. She told a few families before going big. And number 4, build your 30-day action plan. She broke it into 4 simple weeks and then she launched. That's it. 4 steps, 30 days, and Maria went from a home baker with an idea to a home baker with real paying customers. You can do the exact same thing, whatever your trade or business is. Write the vision, make it plain, and go run with it. If this helped you, I want you to hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and check out the next video where we'll go even deep into learning how to run profitable businesses. This has been Shavina Cameron Tracy, APS School of Business. Now go take action. God bless you until our next video.